Yo, what's up everybody, it's Nick. Bitcoin, it's gone from a niche tech concept to like a household name, but honestly, even with all the buzz, the tech behind it, still kind of a mystery for a lot of people. So today we're doing a deep dive unpacking the Bitcoin network. We're talking the core components, the groundbreaking innovations, and what it all means for the future of money. We're gonna break it all down from the blockchain, that digital ledger that's basically unbreakable, to the miners, the ones putting in the work to validate all those transactions. And trust me, the way they do it is seriously next level. We'll also get into things like the Lightning Network, which is making Bitcoin transactions lightning fast, pun intended, and Taproot, an upgrade that's all about privacy and efficiency. So, buckle up, because we're about to demystify Bitcoin piece by piece. By the end of this, you'll not only understand the tech, but you'll have a glimpse into the future of this revolutionary system. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, the blockchain. It's the backbone of Bitcoin, the thing that makes it all work. Imagine a digital ledger, right? But instead of being kept in one place, it's copied across a massive network of computers. Each block in this chain is like a page in that ledger recording a bunch of Bitcoin transactions. Now here's where it gets really cool. Once a block is added to the chain, it's practically impossible to alter or tamper with. Why? Cryptography, that's why. It's like a super secure digital lock that links each block together. This creates an unbreakable chain of information, hence the name blockchain. This decentralized structure, it's huge. It means no single entity, like a bank or government, controls Bitcoin. It's all about peer-to-peer transactions, verified and secured by the network itself. It's transparent too. Every transaction is viewable on the blockchain, but don't worry, your personal info stays hidden. Think of it like a public library. Everyone can see the books and who's checking them out, but no one knows what you're reading inside. This combination of security, transparency, and decentralization, it's what makes the blockchain so revolutionary. And this tech, it's not just for Bitcoin, we're talking supply chains, voting systems, digital identity. The potential applications are mind-blowing, but for now, let's stick with Bitcoin and see how this blockchain thing actually works in practice. Okay, so we've got this secure, decentralized ledger, but how do new transactions get added, and who's making sure everything's legit? That's where miners come in. These are the unsung heroes of the Bitcoin network, working behind the scenes 24/7. Think of miners as like digital accountants, verifying and adding transactions to the blockchain. But here's the catch. They don't use calculators and spreadsheets. They use raw computational power to solve incredibly complex math problems. It's like a giant digital puzzle, and the first miner to solve it gets to add the next block of transactions to the blockchain. This process is called mining, because it's how new Bitcoins are created and released into circulation. This whole setup is called proof of work, or POW, and it's designed to be energy intensive. Why? Because it makes it super expensive and difficult for anyone to try and cheat the system. The more miners on the network, the more secure it becomes. Now I know what you're thinking, all that energy consumption. Yeah, it's a valid concern, and developers are working on more sustainable solutions. But for now, mining remains a critical part of what keeps Bitcoin secure and decentralized. It's a fascinating process, really. These miners are competing with each other, using massive amounts of computing power, all to maintain the integrity of the Bitcoin network. It's like a global digital gold rush, and the reward is a piece of the future of finance. So we've got the blockchain, this immutable ledger, and we've got miners competing to add new blocks. But how do they all agree on which transactions are valid and which block gets added to the chain? That's where the consensus mechanism comes in. Remember proof of work? That energy-intensive process miners go through? That's just one way to achieve consensus. It's like the rules of the game, making sure everyone's playing fair and that there's only one true version of the blockchain. Think of it like a referee in a game. They enforce the rules, ensure fair play, and their decisions are final. In Bitcoin, the consensus mechanism does the same thing, but instead of a person, it's a set of predefined rules that everyone on the network agrees to follow. This is crucial for security. If there were no consensus, anyone could just create fake transactions or double spend their Bitcoin. But because everyone's playing by the same rules, and those rules are enforced by the network itself, Bitcoin remains secure and trustworthy. Now, proof of work isn't the only consensus mechanism out there. Other cryptocurrencies use different methods, each with its own pros and cons. But for Bitcoin, POW has proven to be incredibly robust and secure over the years. It's this constant agreement, this shared understanding of the rules, that makes the Bitcoin network so powerful. It's a self-governing system operating without any central authority, and it's all thanks to the ingenious consensus mechanism that underpins it all. Chapter 4 Nodes. The network's eyes and ears. We've talked about the blockchain, mining, and consensus. But what about the actual network itself? How does all this information get shared and validated across the globe? That's where nodes come in. Think of nodes like the nervous system of the Bitcoin network. They're the individual computers that make up the network, each running a copy of the Bitcoin software. They're constantly communicating with each other, sharing information about transactions and blocks. Every time a new transaction is made, it's broadcast to the entire network of nodes. These nodes then verify the transaction, making sure it's legitimate, and that the sender actually has the Bitcoin they're trying to spend. Once a node verifies a transaction, it adds it to what's called its mempool, which is like a waiting area for transactions that are waiting to be included in a block. Miners then pick transactions from their mempool and include them in the next block they mine. But nodes do more than just verify transactions. They also store a complete copy of the blockchain, ensuring that the history of every Bitcoin transaction is preserved and accessible. This distributed ledger is what makes Bitcoin so resilient. Even if some nodes go offline, the network keeps running smoothly. So nodes are like the eyes and ears of the Bitcoin network, constantly watching for new transactions, verifying their authenticity, and making sure everyone's playing by the rules. They're the unsung heroes that keep the network decentralized, secure, and running 24/7. Chapter 5, Lightning Network, the Speed Booster. Okay, so we've covered the fundamentals of Bitcoin, but let's be real, one of the criticisms of Bitcoin is that transactions can be slow and expensive, especially during peak times. That's where the Lightning Network comes in. Think of the Lightning Network as a high-speed rail built on top of the existing Bitcoin network. It's a Layer 2 solution that allows for near-instantaneous, extremely cheap transactions. It's like having a separate, faster lane just for Bitcoin payments. Here's how it works. Instead of broadcasting every single transaction to the entire Bitcoin network, the Lightning Network allows users to open payment channels between each other. It's like creating a direct connection, a shortcut, for sending Bitcoin back and forth. These payment channels exist off-chain, meaning they don't need to be recorded on the blockchain. This significantly reduces the load on the network, making transactions much faster and cheaper. It's like paying your friend back for coffee using cash instead of going through a bank transfer. The best part, the Lightning Network is still secured by the underlying Bitcoin blockchain. Transactions are only broadcast to the main chain when a payment channel is opened or closed, ensuring that everything remains secure and transparent. This technology is a game changer for Bitcoin, making it a viable option for everyday transactions. We're talking micropayments, instant remittances, and seamless integration with point-of-sale systems. The Lightning Network is unlocking the true potential of Bitcoin as a global payment network. Alright, let's talk about some of the exciting developments happening right now in the Bitcoin space. One of the most significant upgrades in recent years is Taproot. This upgrade, activated in November 2021, is all about enhancing Bitcoin's privacy, efficiency, and smart contract capabilities. One of the key features of Taproot is something called Schnorr signatures. Without getting too technical, Schnorr signatures are a more efficient way to generate cryptographic signatures for Bitcoin transactions. This means smaller transaction sizes, which translates to lower fees and faster confirmation times. But here's where it gets really interesting. Taproot also introduces something called Merkleized Abstract Syntax Trees, or MAST. This allows for more complex transaction conditions to be hidden within a single signature, making it practically impossible to distinguish between a regular Bitcoin transaction and one that involves smart contracts. What does this mean for users? Increased privacy. With Taproot, the details of your transactions are better protected. It also paves the way for more advanced use cases for Bitcoin, like smart contracts and decentralized applications, without sacrificing security or decentralization. Taproot is a testament to the continuous innovation happening in the Bitcoin space. It's a prime example of how developers are working to improve upon the original design while staying true to the core principles of Bitcoin decentralization, security, and scarcity. Let's dive a little deeper into Schnorr signatures because this technology is a game changer for Bitcoin. Remember how I said it's a more efficient way to generate cryptographic signatures? Let's break down why that's such a big deal. In the world of Bitcoin, a digital signature proves you own the Bitcoin you're trying to send. It's like your digital fingerprint, verifying your authority to make the transaction. Traditional Bitcoin signatures, while secure, can be a bit clunky, especially in complex transactions involving multiple parties. Schnorr signatures streamline this process. Imagine you and your friends are all pitching in to buy something with Bitcoin. Normally, each of your signatures would be separate, making the transaction larger and more expensive. Schnorr signatures allow you to combine all of your signatures into one, reducing the overall size and cost of the transaction. This might seem like a small tweak, but it has huge implications for scalability. By making signatures smaller, more transactions can fit into each block, making the network more efficient overall. This means faster transaction times and lower fees, especially during busy periods. But it's not just about efficiency. Schnorr signatures also enhance privacy. By aggregating multiple signatures into one, it becomes much harder for outsiders to determine how many parties are involved in a transaction or what kind of transaction is taking place. This increased privacy is crucial for protecting users and maintaining the fungibility of Bitcoin. It ensures that all Bitcoins are treated equally, regardless of their transaction history. Schnorr signatures are a win-win, boosting both the efficiency and privacy of the Bitcoin network. So far we've focused on the main Bitcoin blockchain. But what if we could experiment with new features and functionalities without risking the security of the core network? That's where sidechains come in. Imagine sidechains as separate, parallel blockchains that are linked to the main Bitcoin blockchain. It's like having different lanes on a highway, each with its own rules and speed limit, but all connected to the same destination. These sidechains can be used to test out new technologies, create new cryptocurrencies, or build specialized applications, all without affecting the main Bitcoin blockchain. It's like having a sandbox where developers can experiment and innovate without any risk to the core system. One of the most exciting aspects of sidechains is their ability to facilitate asset transfers between chains. This means you could potentially move your Bitcoin from the main chain to a side chain, utilize its unique features, and then move it back when you're done. This interoperability opens up a whole world of possibilities. Imagine sidechains dedicated to specific use cases like decentralized finance, supply chain management, or digital identity. The potential is limitless. Sidechains are a powerful tool for expanding the capabilities of Bitcoin while maintaining its core values of security and decentralization. They allow for innovation to flourish without compromising the integrity of the main blockchain, paving the way for a more diverse and robust Bitcoin ecosystem. So, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the fundamentals of the blockchain to cutting-edge innovations like the Lightning Network and Taproot. It's clear that Bitcoin is more than just a digital currency. It's a revolutionary technology that's constantly evolving. These advancements are addressing some of the biggest challenges facing Bitcoin, like scalability, privacy, and smart contract functionality. And they're doing it all while staying true to the core principles that make Bitcoin so compelling: decentralization, security, and transparency. The future of Bitcoin is bright, with ongoing development and adoption pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just starting to explore the world of Bitcoin, one thing's for sure: this technology is here to stay. So stay tuned, because the journey is just beginning. These advancements are set to address Bitcoin's challenges in scalability, privacy, and smart contract functionality, all while upholding its core principles of decentralization and security. Stay tuned for more updates on the ever-evolving world of Bitcoin.